Hello, welcome back to Fall Into Tech. So in today's video, we have another AWS project that we're going to do, and we are diving into Amazon QuickSight. So it is just a powerful BI tool from AWS that makes data analysis and visualization super easy and interesting. Now, in this video, we are going to explore and visualize a huge data set of Netflix shows and movies. And also, we are going to build a live interactive dashboard that pulls out all the interesting side of these movies and the shows. But before we start anything, let's go ahead and jump into the breakdown exactly what is Amazon QuickSight. So QuickSight, it is a cloud-based business intelligence service that allow you to connect to various data sources and then perform deep analysis and then build interactive dashboard and share like insight easily across your team or the public. For example, if you have a team that you are leading and also like client that you have to present some data and then show them some dashboard to kind of explain exactly what kind of data that you want to show them, like you have and stuff like that. So it is just basically a very convenient way to do it. Using Amazon QuickSight, okay? And it is a fast and serverless and fully integrate with other AWS services. So you can connect them from, for example, something like S3 bucket or some stuff like that, okay? So now that's what we are going to use today. So for today's project, we will be using a publicly available Netflix dataset. So this data that I'm using is public, is everybody can have access to it, and then now this data have different stuff, for example, like title of the movie, what type of media that we have, what year they released the movie, the duration of a movie, the country rating and other stuff. Okay, so we will definitely upload the dataset to Amazon S3 and then connect it to QuickSight and create the visualization that we need. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. And then I already have the dataset downloaded on my laptop. So now from here, let me just go ahead and jump right into my AWS console. And then we're going to create a S3 bucket, upload our file, and then we connect from there. All right, let's get it. Okay, so right before we jump into the AWS console, let's go ahead and then I'm going to show you guys the architecture of what we're doing today. So now this is the data set that we have from Netflix. And then now we are going to upload it into our S3 bucket, where it will hold the storage. It's going to be as a storage where it's going to hold our file, right? And the next step we're going to do is to connect our S3 bucket into the QuickSight. And then now when we successfully connected that, now we are going to visualize the data in sort of like a dashboard where we can see the whole data set. And then, we can ask some question and try to figure out like other side of the data. And then this is where we will be able to see everything, okay? I just wanted to show you guys here before we jump right into the Amazon console. All right, let's go ahead. All right, so now that we are here into our AWS console, what we want to do, we want to go ahead and then click on S3, or maybe you can come here and type S3 and then click on S3. And then as you can see, we are here in our S3 interface, okay? So now the first step that we want to do, we want to go ahead and create a bucket, okay? So now, before creating the bucket, make sure that you know what region you are. For example, I am here in Ohio, which is closest to me. You want to make sure that you are in the closest region to you, just because of like, how fast the latency and stuff like that, okay? And also, you want to remember the region that you are, just because we will need it later on, okay? So I'm going to leave it as Ohio. And then now, let me come here and then just give my bucket a name. So let me just name it Fall Into QuickSight Project, okay? So Fall Into QuickSight Project. So this is going to be the name of my bucket. And anything else, I don't have to touch anything. I can just leave it as default. And from there, let's go ahead and then create bucket, okay? And as you can see, our bucket is already created. So now the next step we want to do, we want to click onto the bucket, and then now what we want to do from here, you want to go ahead and then upload our files, okay? So now you want to go ahead and click on upload and add files. We click on add files here, and as you can see now, let's go to download, which is going to be the Netflix that we need. That's what we need. And then the JSON format, so it's going to be this one and this one, the JSON format and then the Netflix, okay? So now click on okay, and as you can see, we have them here. What we want to do next is click on upload. Okay, and as it is uploaded now, I want to make sure to open my files and then understand exactly what we have inside these two files. Let me go ahead and open these two files. All right, now first we open the CSV file. As you can see here, it shows us the show ID the type of it, which is a movie, TV show, the title of the movie or the TV show, the director. We have the cast members here, the country where they play this movie, the date, the release year, and then the rating, the duration of the movie. And as you can see, this is just a description. So this is like a bunch of files that we already have here. So this is, I don't even know how much is it, but we get it directly from Netflix, okay? So now this is what we have into our CSV file, okay? So now let's go ahead and then open our JSON and then see exactly what we have inside of our JSON. So now here we have our JSON file. So basically this file right here, it is just a kind of format that telling exactly the QuickSight, what kind of data that we have and how do you want us to structure the data. So that's basically what is explaining here into this format right here. All right, now that we are done here, we want to go ahead and then close here. And then as you can see, we have our two files, which is the manifest, the JSON, and then the Netflix title CVS, okay? CSV. Okay, so now the next step will be go ahead and create our jump into the QuickSight. But before we do that, there is one more step that we need to do. So now what we need to do is we want to click on the Netflix title here. Okay, so now that we selected this one here, what we want to do, we want to go ahead and then click on copy S3 URL, this one right here. Okay, as you can see, we already copied this one here. So now the next step will be to open the JSON file that we have to replace the location of our file. Okay, so now that's the next step we are going to do. So now as you open your JSON file, you can use any editor on your depend on what computer you're using. Okay, so now what we want to do here, we want to replace this name right here with the URL that we just copied. Okay, so we want to just replace that with the one we just copied. There you go. So as you can see, as you remember, this is the name of the project that I have put into QuickSight project, Netflix, title, CSV, okay? So now this JSON file, we already explained it, I already explained exactly what it is. But in this here, as you can see, it shows exactly the location of our file. As you can see, this is the location that the file that we have. And then now here, as you can see, it kind of tell us exactly, it's going to tell QuickSight what kind of file that we have. As you can see, it's the CSV file. And then now this is all the information that we need here from the JSON that we need to understand. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to save this file right here. So you want to save this file, and when you save it, now you're going to upload this file again into S3 bucket. So let me go ahead and then save this file. Command S, I already saved it, and then now I can close this one right here. So now that I already saved it, I'm gonna come back here and then upload the same file that we had. So add file, and now let's go back here and then click on open and click on upload. As you can see, it is uploading. So now let's close, and then as you can see, we still have the same files right here, even though it is updated, but we still have the same file. So one thing about S3 bucket, which is like a very convenient feature that I have, is like if you upload the same file that has the same name, it will replace the original one from the last one that you uploaded. Okay, so it already replaced it. As you can see the time frame here. So we uploaded this one on like 1:06, and then the second one is like 1:22. Okay, 1 p.m. 22. So as you can see, so now we replace it. So now we have all the file that we need here. All right, from here we can go ahead and go to our QuickSight. So let's go back here to Amazon, and then we can come here and type QuickSight. There you go, and click on QuickSight. And as you can see here, QuickSight will definitely send you to a different platform. So I feel like the main reason they set it up this way, there is a lot of tools that AWS has, right? A lot of services. So now for someone like a data analyst guy, he can come in and then directly come to the QuickSight without having to go to all the services that AWS is offering, you know. So as you can see here, when you come here, you want to click on sign up for QuickSight. And now, as you can see here, you want to type the email that you are using, the same 2022, okay, email.com, okay. And then now when you're done, you want to go ahead and then use I am federate to identify QuickSight. It's just because it's going to ask you the way that you want to use to kind of log into the QuickSight, okay? So for now, we can just leave it as default at this one right here. And also we can go ahead and then choose our location, the region that we have. So mine is Virginia, that's what I've been using. And mine is Virginia or Ohio. I need to double check on that. Okay, as you can see here, the region that I'm using is Ohio, okay? So I can come here and then change the region to Ohio and then say okay. And when you change the region, probably ask you to put your email back again, and then you can put back your email. And here you can just use the project name that we have, which is Fall into QuickSight. This one right here, we can use this, see, copy, and then enter here. So okay, we can use that one, and anything else we can use it as default from here. So now let's go here where it say QuickSight access to AWS service. Okay, now that we are here, as you can see, it say allow access and auto discovery for those resource, for these resources. Okay, now we want to make sure we check the Amazon S3 because that's what we are going to use. And as you can see, it's sending you this pop-up here asking you, do you want QuickSight to have access to all this S3 bucket? I wouldn't select all. I'm just going to select this one, which is that's what we need for today's project. And then when you're done, click on finish. Okay. And then now here, this is the most important part, which is you have to uncheck this one right here. So if you don't uncheck here, as you can see, it will charge you monthly $500, and we do not need that. As you can see here, you want to go ahead and check it. And when you're done with this project, make sure to delete this project that you have. Okay, now that we did uncheck here, now we can click on finish and then just give it a time as QuickSight is creating our account. And when it's done, we will get back to it. Okay, as you can see, we have our account is successfully created. So now let me just take a screenshot here just because of my documentation. All right, let's just go ahead, screenshot of that. And then now we can go ahead and click on go to our QuickSight account. All right, as you can see, we are here inside of QuickSight and it looks really cool. You have a lot of, the dashboard analysis, dataset, community topic, stuff like that. But for our project today, we're going to go ahead and click on dataset. And as you can see here, when you click on dataset, now you want to go ahead and click on new dataset. And when you click on new dataset, as you can see, we have different platforms that we can use to analyze data. As you can see, we have Oracle here, we have SQL Server, Redshift is here, Aurora is here, and PostgreSQL. You have a lot of stuff, Jira. If you wanted to analyze data from these different platforms, you can use them as well. But for our project today, we are going to use S3. And as you can see here, now let's go ahead and then click the name of our project, the name of the source. So we get this data from Kaggle. Let's go Netflix data. That's where I get the data that I'm using here. So I'm just going to put the name here. And then now, as you can see here, it's saying upload a manifest file. Okay. So now to be able to get this URL, you have to go back to your S3 bucket and then you select the manifest JSON right here. When you select it as the manifest right here, so now you want to go ahead and click on copy S3 URL, okay, which is this one right here. So you copy that one and then you come back here and then you're going to paste it here. Okay, so this is the URL that we need. Okay, so when you get that done, now you're going to go ahead and click on connect. Okay, and as you can see, it's asking you, this is the data that we have, the name of it, the weight of the thing, the sources right here. As everything is done here, what we want to do, we want to go ahead and click visualize, and we're just going to give it a time, and it's going to give us different setup that we need here to visualize our data. As you can see here, we have the cast, the country, date added, description, director, duration, and we have everything. So everything is successful. Let me go ahead and take a screenshot of this part right here. As you can see, we are inside of our QuickSight. Everything looks good. And then now we can go ahead and start creating our visualization of different set of data that we need. Okay. All right, now that we have this different feature that we had in our file that we had, so right now we're going to, let's go ahead and then click on cast. Okay, and now as you can see, it gives us the visualization that we need here, the different cast that we have. And let's see release here, and as you can see, you have all the visualization for the release here, and also you have different type of visualization that you can have. For example, if we wanted to have this data on a sort of donut, you can go ahead and then click it here, and it's going to give us the chart. And then now if you want to change it, you can go ahead and then change it as a pie. If you wanted to have it as a pie, also it will give you the different information that you need. Let's say, let's choose something else. release here. As you can see here, it gives you everything that was released during the years, and then this is just like a pie simple of the data that you can visualize. And then let's see if we wanted to have it as a line chart. Okay, we also can see it as here as, let's go ahead as donut again, and then let's change as horizontal. As you can see here, the duration is right here, and you can also change the type of chart that you want to see. Let's not use that one, let's use this one. Right, hold on a second, let's go choose rating. There you go. As you can see, so we basically can see all the data, and we can choose what type of a way we want to see this data, a way that we want to analyze this data. Okay, so we have here everything that we need, type of chart that we want, and this is the list of the data that we have. It looks very good, you know, and also is something that you can use to explain people, and then use different chart to, you know, make them understand the data that you have and stuff like that. All right, as we have this one here, the rating, and then we using the donut chart, we can go ahead and then add another visual. So to do that, you go ahead and click on add, and then now we can choose something else. Let's say country. So if we wanted to know the country and we want to use something different, the chart, for example, this one, the vertical bar, we can click on here and then have the vertical bar right here, as you can see. And if we wanted to change also the type of like the vision how we see it, we can also switch it up here, or we can choose this demonstration here. If we wanted to make it a little bit smaller, we can go ahead and then make it small and then move it next to this one, and then we have this one, and we can go ahead and add another one also. And let's see duration. Okay, as you can see, we have the duration here, and now we can go ahead and switch it up a little bit so we can have a better visually, better seeing it, you know what I mean? So now you can change in something. Let's say, let's choose waterfall chart right here. As you can see, the waterfall chart is right here, and we can go ahead and then make it a little bit small here, make it as like probably the same size than this one. Okay, and it looks good right now. So we can go ahead and then analyze something else. All right, we can go ahead and add another one. Let's see, description, maybe country. Let's use country right here, and then use different form of visualization, probably this one, or maybe let's see the chart here. Okay, so we have the duration of the movie, the duration of the show or movies right here. As you can see, this is the amount of minutes that we have. Okay, so now we have this right here. We can go ahead and then take a screenshot of our data that we have. So this is what we have so far. We can take a screenshot of it. Okay, what is good? Yeah. All right, as you can see, I went ahead and add different data. As you can see, count of record by rating, count of records by description, count records by type, count record by duration. So this is basically, I mean, I was just playing around, adding some data that, you know, you can explain or you can show people and exactly give them the visualization that you have here. So now you can feel free to go ahead and then play with it a little bit, and you'll be able to see a different type of, you know, visualization. Okay, so now when you're done, to be able to save this one or to have obtain it as a PDF, you can go ahead and click on publish. And when you click on publish, and then now it will ask you to give the name of the data that you have. Let's just name it for Netflix dashboard. Hold on here, Miss. There you go. See, that's what Netflix, and it's gonna choose everything, and then, you know, you can click on publish dashboard. As you can see, this is what we have, and now if you want to save it as PDF, you can go ahead and then click on here, export as PDF, generate the PDF here, working on your PDF file. Okay, so now it's gonna save as PDF. Okay, so basically, if you had to present this, or if you have to send it to someone, or do a like presentation, or like a PowerPoint presentation, whatever, you can use this file as well to do your presentation. Okay, all right guys, thank you for tuning in today with me with another AWS project, which was using S3 bucket and link it to our dashboard QuickSight to analyze, to have visualization of some data. Okay, so this project was very helpful to learn of, for example, using different AWS services. So now that we have this one done, this is where I'm going to stop for this one, and I was able to save the PDF file. And I'm just going to say thank you guys for watching, and then in case that, you know, have any question or whatever the case may be, feel free to reach out, and, you know, and thank you again for watching, and see you guys into our next project.